Well guys, fast forward a week, we're a bit happier this week. We've actually made it to Carmanah Provincial Park, so great news, because the other day we had to get towed out. We had to get a recovery vehicle to take us off the logging road, take us back to Parksville. We didn't actually get towed from the location we were at till about 12 o'clock at night, and it took us to a place called Cowichan Lake. So we had to spend the rest of the evening, the rest of the night at Cowichan Lake so we could get towed back to Parksville. And because we were vanless, I made my way back over to Vancouver. Now Adam's gave us updates as the week's gone on with his van, and as you can see, it's in working order, it's running. It was actually the starter motor that packed in, so he's had the starter motor replaced, which has cost him a bit of money, not forgetting the towing bill. So we've came back to Carmanah Provincial Park. We got here last night. We just had a slow drive in, got in quite late, but Adam wanted to show us part of the forest. But we just wanted to have a general look about before it got dark. Now we were looking for the campground, somewhere to camp. Now Adam found a location. He's been there a couple of times before with Jeremy. You get a lovely sunset, a lovely view over the west coast there. But someone had already pinched our spot, and at the same time when we were looking for the location, we actually came across a couple of bears. Now the first bear was pretty small and it ran off quite quickly, but the second bear was quite big and it gave us a look before it went off into the forest. Now because I was camping in the tent, it made us a bit nervous, and it made us realise that there is wildlife out there, and it is wild and rugged in the location we're at, because it's in the middle of nowhere, literally nowhere. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have our coffee, or should I say tea, and we're going to get something to eat and make our way into this forest. So here's to a good day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of today's video. So we've made it down into the forest here, and we've came to a grouping of old growth trees that Adam wanted to show us. Absolutely amazing, they really are. Now what we're contending with at the moment, you'll be able to see in front of us, we've got this harsh sunlight, and the trees in the direction that we're photographing, they are backlit, but the sunlight behind is really harsh. So what we're having to do is, we've been here for some time and we're just waiting for that sun to shift. Now the way around it is to get up close, emphasize the subjects that you're photographing, to try and eliminate the sky. So that's what we're doing, really working the scene, walking around and seeing what we can come up with. So what I want to try and include is as much of this interest as I can, but I want to discard as much of that bright sky that I can. It doesn't matter that the trees are dark, because you're getting some lovely light on the sides of the trees, and it gives it some character, it gives it some depth. So that's what I'm looking for. Now I've brought a new lens along today. I've got the 14mm 1.8 G Master, so I really want to utilize that wide focal length, get up really close, and that's going to help us out by including as much as I can, but still eliminating that sky and that bright background at the same time. So I have found a composition. I'm going to get back to the camera and I'll show you the first composition that I'm going for. So I'm going to talk you through my reasoning for taking this shot here. I said to you before about the harsh light. we are having to wait some time. You know, it'd be nice if it was a bit more overcast. And there's actually quite a lot of bugs, so every now and again I have to give it a waft in front of the lens so I don't get any of these bugs. Now you'll be able to see how much I've been able to add and include in the frame with using that wider focal length. You know, I'm right next to the camera more or less, but it's fitted me in and it's fitted the trees in behind, so I really am going to be able to get up close and creative with this lens. Not only in landscape, I'm also going to be able to do in street photography as well with those high skyscrapers and buildings. Now I've managed to separate this grouping of trees as much as I can. It's a bit harsh at the moment, but as that sun makes its way across, it should allow us to get the shot. But there's plenty of interest there, plenty of depth, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it looks. It looks good on the back camera. And then we're just going to have to work this area, this location. It is pretty tricky today because of the light, because it is blue sky and we've got no overcast conditions. But I'm sure we'll come up with some images. And we are going to go back out later on anyway. Adam's got some other locations that I want to look at, even if it's just for the recce for tomorrow. So I hope you like this image and I'll put it on the screen above. So the light's been really challenging this morning. We got down here a bit late because Adam was a bit lazy, he was staying in bed.
That's not true.
So what we're going to do is, we've tried a couple of shots this morning. We might come back later on, well we more than likely will come back later on into the same location to see how the light plays out, because the sun is going to be moving quite far over, and so it should be a lot more muted in here later on. Just the light's been a bit tricky, so we're going to head back. A bit challenging. So we'll catch you later on and we'll make our way back into the forest. Well, welcome back. It's a lot later in the day now. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. Now me and Adam went back, we had a bite to eat, and we had an afternoon snooze, so we're all refreshed for this evening, and we're going to head back into Carmanah, back into the forest here, down in the valley, and see if we can improve on the images that we got this morning, because as you'll see, it was really harsh light, and it was quite hard to come across images. So I want to take another look this evening when the light's a lot lower in the sky, so it should look a lot more balanced, and it might make for a different image and show you how light is so important. Now we came down this trail yesterday evening, and I was really attracted to these ferns, and we've got these old trees and they're all scattered about and got some fallen branches, but because that light's subdued and it's a lot lower in the sky, it really looks nice, and these ferns are really standing out, so that's what I want to capture. So I've put the 24mm on. It seems to be a great focal length for what I want to capture, because I don't want to go too wide, because it is including sky, because I'm shooting upwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get set up, I'm going to talk you through the composition and see if we can get our first image of this evening. So I've made it over to this area. How beautiful is that? We've got these lovely ferns. I can't remember what they're called. I'll ask Adam later and I'll put it on the screen above. But they're just starting to turn. They're nearly at full length, so they're really vibrant. There's plenty of life there, and they really stand out with this ambient light that's coming in from the sky, backlighting ferns. They really are beautiful. Now you'll see the arrangement of trees behind us. Now to look at when you come down the trail, it looks really chaotic, but when you really study it and slow down, you can separate all the trees and there's a ton of interest. Now I'm going to be shooting upwards, but with the 24mm I'm still managing to leave out that sky. Because the sun's gone down a bit, we haven't got too much harsh light in the tops there. And then we've got these branches that add more and create more interest in the top right of the frame. Just leaning over, we've got some lovely mosses on the branches, and I think it makes a really nice shot. But the main subject that stood out to us when I was walking down this trail was these lovely ferns, so that's what I want to capture. So I'm shooting it at 24mm. Now there is a bit of a breeze from time to time, so I'm being aware of that. So I've just got to wait for that breeze to calm down and get the shot, and then we'll make our way a bit further into Carmanah Provincial Park. So I'll get this shot, put it on the screen above, and I hope you like it. Now this stump that you can see behind us, it really stood out. You'll be able to see how vibrant and lush the green is on this stump. There's loads of different textures and shapes. Now we've got this fallen old growth tree behind. Now the bugs are really bad tonight. They were about last night, but they weren't biting. But tonight there's mosquitoes everywhere, so we're getting eaten alive in the forest tonight. We got bit last night on my hand. Off a black fly, and it's fairly swollen up, so it just shows you it drew blood straight away. So this is the shot that I'm going for, and it really looks good. Being able to get up close with this 14mm, really enjoying it. It's amazing, and I'm really excited to see what I can create with this lens. You'll be able to see how close I am to this old part of a stump that's rotting away with this green moss. Usually I'd have to stand quite far back, but I'm able to get up really close and still include all that main interest that I want. And I'm cutting out the sky at the same time because I'm able to get close to my subject. We've got the shapes and the scales of the bark, and we've also got part of that fallen trunk behind. So it's giving it a nice background. And then towards the right hand side, you'll be able to see in the bottom right, there's a bit of a pathway in between this bit of a fallen trunk here, and then it leans over to these like twisty branches at the end of the trunk to the right hand side. And then beyond that you've just got the forest, and there's a bit of light there, so it creates a bit of depth right through the image. But the main interest here is this green moss on this old part of a trunk. So that's the shot that I'm going to go for, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's like when I get back, because it's a different perspective on what I would normally shoot. So really enjoying this lens. So I'm going to get back, get this shot, and I hope you like it. So it's getting later in the evening now. Surprisingly, we seem to be losing the light a lot quicker than we had last time, so we're not going to be able to make it to the location where we went this morning. So we've come down these boardwalks. We've got this lovely grouping of trees. There's some nice ambient light coming in. We're managing to get some light coming in because of the opening above us here, and we're just going to capture this scene here. Basically the boardwalk leading off into the distance. We've got lots of old growth trees here, plenty of interest. Managed to separate them as well. Some nice leaning branches in at the right hand side there with some nice moss on. It's also catching that light, and it's just a nice forest scene, and it really does show off Carmanah Provincial Park. So it's going to be a bit of a rush because we are absolutely getting eaten alive. Sorry. So it's just going to be a quick image, and we're going to make our way back up to Adam's van. So I'll get this shot, put it on the screen above, and I hope you like it. We've got the whole place to ourselves. A great view of the Pacific West Coast there. We're actually getting some colour in the sky. So this is where we're going to spend the night, and parking my tent up. We're getting all set up. We're going to have some curry. We're going to have a can of beer, and it's well deserved after the day we've had. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's been hard work this morning. It was hard work getting in here. You know, we had the issue with Adam's van breaking down, but we stuck with it, waited a week. Adam got his van fixed and we came back out, and it really has been worth it. Got to try out my new lens, really enjoying that lens, and looking forward to seeing what I can create with it, because you can include so much. It's amazing how much you can include when you get up really close to subjects that you're photographing. So if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I look forward to bringing you more of our adventures here on Vancouver Island, down by Carmanah Provincial Park. We are going to be going back in there tomorrow. Adam's got a couple of more locations to show us, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And yeah, we're going to enjoy the evening. It's been an absolute brilliant time. Cheers, Adam. We've got honey dark matter to celebrate the day.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, guys. Stay tuned for the next video.